I want y'all to really think hard on what you can do around the thing that you do that will make the thing that you do grow. All right, listen, if you are a coach consultant, I know something about you. The average is you make less than $5,000 a month, okay? And you never, ever get to $20,000 a month. I think the exact number is $4,524 a month. That's your average. But most coaches, consultants never get to the $20,000. But the number one reason is because you're having a hard time attracting clients. You need client attraction. Well, the good news is my friend, my coach, my mentor helped me make $35,000 in less than a week. And it was all the information from his paid ad playbook, Mr. Marquell Russell. He has the receipts to vouch, including myself, okay? Listen, he helps you attract clients. You need the paid ad playbook. If you want to get 50 to 100 new leads every single day, you're going to need the paid ad playbook. To this date, his clients have generated over $500 million in sales, $500 million. And he's giving you this paid ad playbook for free, absolutely free, 100% off, just for our social proof listeners. Listen, so if you are a coach, a consultant, a service provider, a course creator, and you want to get people to pay you $3,000 to $10,000 for your product or service, for your expertise, you need to go to socialproofgift.com. It's a gift for you. Socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. All right, let's get to the episode.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we have dope conversations about professional matters surrounded around entrepreneurship in life.
Which is one of those timeliness.
My name is Donni Wiggins, and this is David. How was your week, David?
It was cool. Thinking about getting lunch with Joe after this. You know what I mean? Donnie, send us our money. We can go eat after this together. So it's not like we'll actually spend the money on...
You want me to treat two grown men to lunch?
You're not treating anything. We're just actually taking your bond money or your, what is that? Your restitution. What does restitution mean?
It ain't restitution.
The money from restitution. We're taking that and we're actually, what's the word? When you give back.
Charitable?
I don't know. Should we send her a Cash App request? Because I don't think I paid. I don't think I paid out this month anyway. No. I could dock it from your pay.
Dock it.
It'll be. Listen, first off, you're gonna lose the money anyway, so it's better that you own it and you just pay us now, because then the people look at you like,
your
okay,
shoes
Donnie
look
is
nice,
very honorable.
Are these graphite edition?
Yeah, they just came out.
Is that what they're called, graphite?
Now we can get into it. Now that I know, Donnie, where you want to go? Where you want to go eat after this?
Yo, how was your week?
It was good, man. It was good. My week was good. What did I do?
We went to
Dave Chapelle's documentary viewing.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
So fire.
Fire. Yo, for one, the way the show was structured and put together was just amazing.
Mm-hmm. We went on a triple date.
Absolutely, we went on a triple date, yep. Actually, what I could respect is he put 7 o'clock on the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know how an event starts at 8 o'clock? You put, event starts at 8 o'clock. But the ticket said 7 o'clock. But it actually started at 8. I think he knew he was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he put it as an hour, and it was still people mad late. What time did you get there? So it was dope. So he had Jeff Ross came and he hosted it and he was funny. And then another comedian came out. He was funny. Then Jeff Ross gets on stage and he said, we're going to do, what's it called? Rapid roast. Fire rapid roasting or something like that.
Yeah.
So people volunteered to go on stage and get roast and he killed it. It was so funny. But then the main thing is...
Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker came out. He was funny. He wasn't not funny, but he wasn't
he wasn't his normal Chris Tucker self.
I never heard, except for old Chris Tucker stand up. It was all right. It was funny. It was cool.
He is movie funny.
He's movie hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes, but stand up. I mean, it wasn't bad. Anyway, so after Chris Tucker, then the documentary, and we see the Dave Chapelle documentary. A little long,
It was very long.
Very long.
Very long. Because at this point, I'm thinking we just paid a lot of money for movie tickets because it's on Sprint. It's not live. And I leaned over to Chance like, so he not coming out? Or because this was a lot of money for a movie.
It had to be an hour and a half maybe.
It was about 2 hours.
Was it 2 hours?
It was 2 hours for the documentary.
I guess so.
It was 2 hours.
I guess so,
We didn't leave until midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, the documentary for what it was kind of dope.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the documentary was around what happened during the pandemic. So he's like, yo, the pandemic's happening, centered it around kind of like a lot of the stuff that was going on, like the killings and, all that kind of stuff. So he's like, yo, we got to do something. And like kind of like the George Floyd situation, he's like, yo, we got to do something to bring some joy. Now, he lives in a small town and he's doing this this comedy show in almost like a backyard. I don't know if it was his backyard.
It was it was on a farm. Somebody bought a farm and turned it into a pavilion.
I think that's his farm though, right?
Yeah, the owner turned it into a pavilion.
Right.
In his farm.
Yeah.
His backyard.
So it's like outside and people are sitting outside. You can imagine some days it's raining and you still see the show going on. Like it's raining. But the entrepreneurship that sparked was he started bringing all these people together, regular people, to this small town that gets Yellow Springs?
Yellow Springs, Ohio?
Ohio, yeah. That you've never heard of. Small town. Everybody knows everybody. And he's bringing in all of these people to his city.
The city has a population of like 3,700 people, 3,700 people. Mm-hmm. And this is where he's grown up his whole life.
Yep.
And there's this farm that this person literally had to go through the city and codes and building permits and all this stuff. And it was a struggle to do.
Yo, some of the comedians that you wouldn't think, like, they're like it's just comedy sets. So it might be like, I don't know how many people per night, 4 or 5 people or whatever. Yeah. But he had everybody coming in. I mean, you saw
Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish,
Common, David Letterman, Erykah Badu.
David Letterman was a good surprise.
Yeah. Yo, mad people. Danny Tanner from Full House. I don't know his real name. What's his name?
Danny Tanner.
Danny Tanner. Yeah, but like, yo, it was so many people that just kept coming through and they was just doing show after show after show in this small town. But what was dope was he was on a mission to continue to build his community.
Yep.
So you think about all these like little stores in that area. He took it upon himself that during COVID, when like things are slowing down, to start bringing people into the city to patronize his city. Yeah. And I know he ain't make no money off that joint.
He didn't. And he even went around and like highlighted and interviewed these store owners. Like it's just a small community, 3,000 people. So if they're shut down for COVID, this is like the end for them financially, right? They're already, nobody in that town is making like money from their business.
It's like a toy store.
It's like a toy store, a candy store, a bread store or bakery or something like that. And not only did he put this on to stimulate the economy in his area, he gave them now this mass marketing exposure. And at the end of it, it said that he raised over $9 million for the city. Over $9 million for a city of 3,700 people.
Yep.
That was big.
Everybody ate. But then there were like these, and we're killing the documentary, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Y'all okay? Or y'all want to? There's lessons in this. So the building code says, yo, hold on. This is too much. We don't like all these people coming into our town. There are some people, just to be right, they'll be wrong. Meaning, like we're bringing in all this revenue to the city, but because I don't like it, I would cut off my nose to spite my face.
Yeah.
So they tried to shut it down when it's doing nothing but good for the city. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, which is like really, because I had this idea to do like the Social Proof 7 joint, right? Mm-hmm. At the end, it really hit me because he started showing all the people that came through. And I'm like, yo, bringing the people together, bringing like his celebrity friends and all that kind of stuff in one place on a regular basis to kind of inspire like common folk.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful. So that's when I was like, yo, I'm just going to pick a date and we just going to knock it out because it's needed. You want to talk about the Social Proof 7?
Let's talk about it.
So Dave Chapelle didn't inspire it, but it really hit me in the heart because I had the idea, but I didn't move on it until this Monday. So we're doing what's called Social Proof 7. I already got the domain. So you guys can relax.
Do you have it always?
What you mean? I have it always.
Yeah, 7 and then 7.
Oh, I have Social Proof 7.
Numerically.
The Social Proof 7. Social Proofs. I only got 2 of them. I'm going to get the rest. Put your phone down. Are you sending us the Cash App?
No, I'm going to GoDaddy.
All right, so yes, so we got Social Proof 7, right? So the idea is, we come on here, we talk about entrepreneurship, we inspire, we interview people and get the game on how to. But the conversations are themed now, though. You know what I mean? So this month, it's all women except for me. And because I just want to be a part of everything. But it's all about how, kind of like the struggles, almost inspired by the conversation we had, the struggles, ups, downs of being a woman in business. Because I had no idea. From my perspective, I think, oh, you're an attractive woman. You get all kind of benefits, right? So I'll take Donni somewhere and no matter what they think about me in the room, they respect me for whatever, they always flock to Donni. And I don't like that. No, I do. It's cool because she knows how to handle herself. But then I got to be really clear that, this is my sister. I ain't, you know what I mean? I'm not, you come with somebody and people say, oh, well, I don't want to talk to her because David might feel, I'd be like, she's her own person.
Everybody can talk to me.
Yeah.
David is not the boss of me, okay?
There are positives and negatives. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're an attractive woman and, people are going to be attracted to you, right? But sometimes the attraction, I can imagine, overpowers your purpose or your information.
I could see how you can only imagine that feeling.
I can see that.
I can see how you've not experienced it. I can tell.
No.
It only happens to attractive people.
For sure. I'm definitely. Yeah, okay, we did. Joe, we made the post.
You batting 2 right now.
Yeah, he made the post about don't nobody shoot, they shot at me. And then 2 people jumped in my DM.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How did it make you feel when you got, because you get no DMs flirtatiously. How did that make you feel?
It was like a pity type thing.
It was.
Only because I'm saying it. One person's
I gotta Cash App them too, real quick.
Here's my shot or something like that. And the second person, which was wild, she said, if I wasn't married, I would shoot my shot. Because this I said.
Do we know this person?
I don't know them people.
Forward me the DMs.
Yeah, he said, Joe said, don't forward those DMs.
Show me the DMs, Joe. Okay.
Yeah, so where was I? Oh, yeah. No, but yes.
Did you send him to Dre? Look.
Somebody likes me. Absolutely not. Okay.
Somebody actually wants your commodity.
Dre gonna go fight him.
Dre will fight him.
So, yes. So anyway, I can imagine that happening.
Yeah.
Because I've been in situations where, okay, you see somebody attractive and you think this way when I was single, when I was in high school, you see somebody that is attractive and your first thought is, how can I get the conversation? And then you act interested in the person for the business so that you can get close to them. So I want to talk through some of that stuff. Does that happen?
That used to happen.
It probably still happens. You don't know yet.
It doesn't really happen. Well, I don't know because I have, I don't allow it to happen.
You can't stop it from happening.
Oh, I can stop it from happening because I am no longer the person that brings in new business. So I have a team. So if anybody comes up to me and says, hey, we want to do business, no problem. Schedule a call. Here's the link. We're not getting into all of this conversation that could be misinterpreted. You really want this when it's really that. You can't, especially in my DMs. In person, if we're in certain mastermind environments and things like that, it could potentially happen there. But so far, that group of people respect me and suppress their thoughts.
We don't.
They do. Well, they suppress their thoughts when interacting with me.
Has anyone ever had a best friend that was attractive, but that was your best friend, you're not going to say nothing, but you just keep it like, oh, that's my BFF.
That's suppressive.
You ain't never played that game. Like you can suppress it for how long though?
Forever.
That's what I'm saying. But the thought is still there. Anyway, we'll have interesting conversations like that, themed events. So we might have some beginning entrepreneurs on there, right?
Now, I will say that there is one person who approached me for business. And when I stopped talking about my relationship, they inquired a couple of months later about my relationship. They talked about the business that they wanted to do starting in the new year. Mm-hmm. And when they saw that I wasn't talking about my relationship as much, which I just been too busy, right? They inquired about the status of my relationship. And I said, oh, everything's great. And then I saw that person just this week talking to somebody else about the same business. Like they actually moved forward with that person about the same kind of business. But that person has been sketch the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, the moral of the story is do something epic.
How is that the moral of this story?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay. Oh, back to Dave Chapelle, because you went on a tangent.
No, I'm still here though. I'm still here. Do something epic. So a comedian does stand-up comedy, right? Yeah. So you go on stage, you do comedy. You know what I mean? That's just what you do. The epic part is, I'm going to stimulate the economy and empower people in a time where people need empowerment. I'm going to bring in all my friends. We're going to just hang out in the backyard. It's like half concert, half motivation. Like he was talking through even some of the comedians that was on the stage going through a certain journey in their life, and he's advising them. It's just epic. Like, it's epic. Yo, who thinks to build a little pavilion, which I know you ain't make no money. I'm going to go through all these hoops and I'm going to fight for this to make it happen because people need it. Mm-hmm. That's far past being a comedian.
Yeah.
It's one thing to do a podcast. Come on here like, yo, we just do a podcast every week. It's another thing to start to innovate and do dinner conversations around it and do the Social Proof Alumni Affair where we bring everybody together and we do excursions and trips. Like some people sell a t-shirt. How can you do something outside of selling the t-shirt that embodies the feeling of the brand itself?
That's the difference between just being an entrepreneur and being an entrepreneur who's also a visionary.
For sure.
Yeah, that's visionary. For sure. And that's why you see so many people who become stagnant in their business because they're just entrepreneurs. All they can see is this t-shirt or these 3 t-shirts that I have available for sale today, but they can't visualize the move that they're going to make on the board that's going to plateau them to or catapult them to greatness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the difference.
So think about this, y'all. What can you do that's not necessarily about what you do, but here's the thing. And I was on I forgot. Oh yeah, so we were on a podcast mastermind. And I was telling them the podcast is kind of like the centerpiece of it. What makes the podcast grow or make the business grow is not the sale of the stuff in the podcast, not the podcast itself, not the promotion of the thing. Mm-hmm. It's all the stuff that surrounds the thing that makes the thing grow. I think we have a good show, but it's all the stuff that we do around the thing that makes the show grow. Make sense? So we have like the morning meetup, and we had, how many came to the morning meetup? How many was there?
Almost everybody.
We get on a call every day, right? But like how could you describe that event, that part? Where you don't have to pay for it. You just come, bowling, meet everybody. That's the stuff around the stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm giving people more value than they receive on just for their money, like the $79. But all the stuff we do around it, like, yo, y'all could just come to all of the podcast recordings. That's not selling the morning meetup. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff around it. So I want you to think of the stuff around what you do. When I was building the t-shirt brand, the Sleep is for Suckers brand, I would do these, it was called a photo shoot party. I know what you're thinking. How the heck do you make money from a podcast? Is David just doing this podcast because he likes it, or there's a heavily monetized strategy attached to it? Well, it's both. I really love talking and interviewing people and getting free game from really successful people. But also, this is a 7-figure podcast. I'm telling you right now, there's so much money in podcasting, and we're early in the space. I really feel like it's 2009, and I'm telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm right now telling you to start podcasting because in 5-10 years, it's skyrocketing. Those are the names that are going to be the ones who have the voices in our world, the ones that start a podcast right now, okay? So I put together everything I know about podcasting in an easily digestible program, okay? So go to podcastersblueprint.com, and you know I got to give y'all some love, okay? Enter code SOCIALPROOF. I'm taking 20% off so you can get your voice heard, all right? So this podcast that you're loving and enjoying, there's other people that's going to love and enjoy yours too, okay? Podcastersblueprint.com. Let's get back to the episode. And I would hire like 4 different photographers. They'd have 4 different backdrop colors. And people could come, and it was like a party, and you get to leave with the pictures. So a lot of people, and we'd have vendors. So the vendor, and I sell my own t-shirt brand, right? But we have other vendors that have t-shirt brands. So you could buy from the vendor, put it on, take a professional picture. You're like a professional photo shoot. And now you get to post that and promote the business that you started, right? But that ain't got nothing to do with me selling you a t-shirt. It's like, yo, I had a feeling at this photo shoot party. I need some professional headshots. Some people will buy a ticket just because they need professional pictures. They have their own clothing brand. And they will buy tickets for all of their team to come and say, yo, you stand there, take the pictures, we got props. I'm not selling you a t-shirt at that point. It's all the stuff around it. We've been doing them entrepreneurship workshops for years because it's all the stuff around the concept of sleep is for suckers, not going to sleep, not sleeping on yourself, all that. So I want y'all to really think hard on what you can do around the thing that you do that will make the thing that you do grow. Yeah. And that's what I got from Dave Chapelle.
Yeah, I like it. Give some ideas. So I know that you and I both, when we go into different cities, when we travel, like I could legit be on vacation. Yeah. Whatever city I go to, you'll get a text from me, say, hey, I'm going to be in your city these days. Yep. And then we'll get together and do stuff. So it used to be pre-COVID, I would do it and I'd get actually the year before COVID even. I would do it and get a hotel suite that was large enough just to have, because it's not like a ton of people in one city usually. And I'd have them come over to the hotel and we'd talk and really strategize and mastermind. Then I moved into just doing a breakfast. It's a whole lot simpler. Now that COVID, and I kind of followed your lead on that. And now I do a breakfast. So if you guys are on my text list, you got a text from me. I think it was maybe even yesterday. Saying, hey, I'm going to be in Miami next week. Let's get together. That's an extra thing that really, really builds community. And someone actually replied back to that text and said, wow, you're so dope for this. Like nobody is reaching out into the community saying, let's connect. Friday.
Friday?
Because we're Wednesday and Thursday.
Combine it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
But are you going to be there Friday?
I was going to try to do it Tuesday. Yeah, I'm leaving.
I can't do it Tuesday. I won't be there until Tuesday night.
Okay. All right. We'll do it Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then turn it into, whatever. So I have RJ, one of my students, who is amazing. He went through the program and he's a full-time entrepreneur. So I said, you have nothing but time. Help me find a location, sir. So I have the locations. We can look at it and see. About how many people would you expect?
I don't know. I'd have to put it in the chat and find out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So
that means that you guys should both be inside of me and David's communities.
Absolutely.
Because there's a whole lot more than you bargained for.
Yeah, for sure. It's all the stuff that you don't tell your customer or client that they're getting that creates the value from the product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think people are just so into just the sale and the transaction. It's all the other little stuff that makes a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Ariel, she's in the community, right? And she's been in for a while and just been watching her on the podcast journey. She'll come in here and, and she asked me to sponsor. Of course, the answer is yes, because she's in the community. You know what I mean? But it's all the stuff around The product. So I want to hear like a business and hear what you came up with. Even in this 10 minutes that we were talking.
Yeah.
What's going through your head for your business? And I want to hear it.
In the chair.
And yeah,
here.
you got to sit in the chair where that microphone is. And nobody came up with anything? That's crazy. Oh, okay. Ariel. Take it one step at a time, okay?
So the original business model for helping corporate professionals transition out of entrepreneurship is just to prove the coaching concept, right? But what I'd like to do is like extend that same concept out to more of like workshops and us being able to be in the same like space where we're actually like having a conversation about what your business is, doing like some whiteboard sessions because I love whiteboarding and things like that. And so actually me and Javon talked about like bringing in social workers because I get my degree. So not just making it all around like corporate professionals who are leaving, but people who want to transition their lives and who can like cross-share like, oh, this is how I want to change my life. This is how I want to change my life. And us get together and have a community, have a conversation about what we're doing to level up. So that was one of the things that I was thinking about just now.
I love it. Good. You know what's really cool too is explain the concept of your podcast.
So the podcast is the Work and Play podcast. And the way that I frame it up is we talk about life transitions, career transitions, and self-actualization. So because it's not just about like leaving your 9 to 5, it's really about like the highs and lows, how you learned about your soul, how you learned about your spirit. We talk about a lot of different variations around like depression or like just, hey, I found my soul, or hey, I found my passion, or if it's just a money play, we talk about like all the different things around the ecosystem of making a transition.
Good. So how do we bring that community together? Like what is the experience that you can provide that isn't about people subscribing to the podcast or paying for your coaching? What does that look like?
Well, in my community, one of my clients actually was like, hey, I was watching your podcast and I think one of your guests was really cool. And she was talking about real estate and things like that. So I was like, well, would you like to have her come in and talk about it? Because that could be a resource that you can use in your transition if you want to do real estate. Because I'm not a real estate expert. So I got the idea and I was like, well, I could just have my guests come and share like what they know about like whatever it is in their journey and how they left and how they utilize, whether it was their corporate job or like their side gig, to bridge the gap between like full-time 9 to 5 and then entrepreneurship.
I love it. Give me bigger. Go bigger.
Go bigger.
Go bigger. I want to stretch your brain to go a little bigger.
So this is an extension of like the core of why I decided to be a social worker. It's community engagement. So skills-based volunteering is how I even like started to get rattled up about leaving 9 to 5. So what I'd like to do is create more programs. This is strictly like nonprofit, not nonprofit in the sense that it's going to be a 501(c), but no money. It's literally just creating programs, starting in like urban areas in Atlanta, for example. And then like once we get the framework for a type of program, like the career readiness program that I talked to you guys about, scaling it to somewhere like Ghana and literally just saying, hey, we have a volunteer project, like literally a passion project that we can actually utilize and say, hey, we've created a system that works in Atlanta. Now we want to scale it to something like Ghana or like Kenya or whatever, and you just have to show up and utilize your skills. You could still be in your 9 to 5, but to like explore what you might be able to like create impact around, let's come and let's actually do some work.
Got it. Okay.
What do you think?
That's cool.
Actually, that's literally been on my heart since I quit my job. So I'm glad you asked.
Absolutely.
I like it. I don't have a question for her if that's why you're looking.
We got to execute.
We got to execute.
So somebody else.
So what's the first step? And while she's answering this question, somebody else be ready to get in the seat.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that you asked me that question because on my way here, I was like, I should probably draw out like a model. I like diagrams. So I was thinking of a stair step. Like, what do I need to do in 2022 that is going to lead me to like, if I want to do like the first trip to Ghana in like 2024, what's the things I need to do to focus on the one thing? And so I guess it's more of a question because the way I see it, I like to do diagrams. So I was going to literally just kind of write out the first thing, which is start getting my podcast guests to come to the community and start like just doing that play. Continue running the podcast, continue getting people in the coaching sessions. And then I was actually going to do more like skills-based volunteering in the morning meetup. So do the first one in the morning meetup. Hey, we have an opportunity for you to do something. We can like teach entrepreneurship to young girls who want to like build businesses. And that I've seen it, like 9 years old, you want to start a business and you have like a cupcake business. And I'm like, this is cool. So to be able to present to the morning meetup, do something with the people who already exist, and then start to bring that, that thing to the community. That's like the stair step that I see. But I can't see past like fall of 2022 right now. Like, I'm like, okay, this is what I can do until May.
Gotcha.
So for clarity, what is the clear first step?
Inviting my podcast guests to come speak in the community.
Okay. I want you to keep chewing on it.
Okay.
Like, keep chewing on it. Like, big. Like, if we're going to build a community, we have to cultivate the community.
Yeah.
And I'll give y'all, like, examples of, like, I think I've done a good job of building the community, but only because my objective is always bringing the community together, whether it's Black Wall Street Tour. I just had this idea where we're going to go into schools and teach entrepreneurs. We're going to teach entrepreneurship, and I was going to get my friends to come with me. And we had dozens of people just going school to school to go teach the kids entrepreneurship. But why would I do that? Well, I have a t-shirt brand that's called Sleep is for Suckers, and it's geared towards entrepreneurship and anyone that's ever lost sleep doing what they love. So we're bringing the community together to go to the schools to teach entrepreneurship. Every week we're doing a workshop and we're teaching entrepreneurship. I'm bringing the guests on. And we've been doing this podcast for, it feels like a decade now, just without podcasting. You know what I mean? Like, so what is it that we can do centered around the thing that we do? We just got to think outside of it. And I think that is the definition of thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Like, we're all in a box. Like, you might be in a coaching box. This is my box. But how do we think outside of the box that drives more traffic to the box? So, anybody else? Anybody else? Thinking of a concept, go for it.
Yes.
This is a really, man, if we can get y'all to think outside of just the transaction.
Yeah.
It's not like, I think even in relationships, right? It's one thing to do all the stuff you're supposed to do in a relationship, whether
take out the trash, wash the dishes, cook dinner, have sex.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's the stuff before.
It's different when you hanging from the chandeliers. And that's the extra stuff. That's the extra stuff.
I ain't never.
Basic, relationship stuff, like lay down, get it done.
Are you concerned about this falling from the chandelier? Because that's what my mind.
No, because you get one that's low.
All right, yo, chill. All right. So, I wasn't going there, but like, so for that part of it, it's not just getting into bed and doing what you do, right? It's like the smell earlier in the day, like the cologne or perfume that you're wearing and getting out the shower and feeling that, or it's the opening the car door on the way into the house, or preparing a bubble bath, or cooking. I don't do none of that stuff, but I should now that I'm talking about it. But all the stuff that surrounds around the act is what makes the act so special.
It creates the anticipation, and it makes the receiver or the person who didn't initiate it, not even the person who didn't initiate it, it creates anticipation and the desire to want more of this. So if you translate that into your business, like, what are the extras? And the extras don't always have to cost money. They can be simple, but when you start thinking about who's my ideal audience and what would they really appreciate, who's my significant other, and what do they really appreciate, which is why understanding love languages are so important. I think in every relationship, it may be a good idea for especially those of you who are service-based, make all your clients take a DISC assessment. Make them all take a DISC assessment, because then you understand how they think, how they act, how they respond, what motivates them, right? My team members take DISC assessments, and love language test because I need to understand how they feel loved. I might want to reward a team member. And this works even with building an internal community. You may want to reward a team member and you think that sending them discreetly an email for a $500 Saks certificate will make them happy. And though they'll be grateful, what they really wanted was, because they like words of affirmation and recognition, they really wanted you to spend 5 minutes on the team call highlighting them.
Yeah.
And because you understand these things about them, their inner workings, their thoughts, how they respond, they want to stay a part of your team.
For sure.
What are those extras? Go ahead.
The original question was, how do we kind of build a community and expand outside of what we got currently going on, right?
Yes.
Okay. So funny that you mentioned that you started out with your networking events with photographers. My name is Blessing Destiny. Follow me at The Blessing Attitudes on Instagram. But I'm having an event December the 11th and 12th. It's called the Billionaire Business Bash. And that's part of the concept that we're having. People are kind of drawn to my Instagram. I wear green every single day. Everything is green, 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 green. They're like, can you help me with my content? I want that feel, right? So I wanted to put them in a mansion it's at a mansion so we can manifest. Normally how we have vision board parties, I just wanted to bring the vision board to real life because we're established entrepreneurs and it's time to level up. I'm saying all that to say we're going to have photographers there and make sure that they get bomb content for the first quarter of 2022. That's part of my vision. So the expansion is my mom, she's 65. I have my godmother who's working with me and she's in her 60s as well. And there's something in my business that I can't teach anyone else to do. It's private. And the only one that I can trust to do it is my mom. And she doesn't know how to work the computer. She can't do it for me, literally. So then I teach my godmother the skills and she can do it, but barely. So I'm like, we need to get our seniors leveled up. And I was on a phone call last night talking about NFTs and cryptocurrency and how if you don't get with the program, you're really going to get left behind. And as a 30-something-year-old, I'm like, I'm about to get left behind. So imagine how these seniors feel with the way life is going. Mm-hmm. I've always had a soft spot for seniors. I got friends that's 95 and plus. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. I go home, my senior friends are looking for me. So again, the party is called the Billionaire Business Bash. I want to do something. I said I was going to start like a billionaire senior group and just teach them things, just for free, just off of this is what you need to know. This is where the world is going. And I want to be a vessel for that.
Yeah, I think so. That can kind of get tricky because is that your ideal client? And are we starting another business around it, or you're going to focus more on seniors or what?
No. So it's not my ideal client. They won't have the money to pay me. It's the community. It's just that because God is so good and I do have great paying clients, what am I doing to give back?
So that's almost your humanitarian effort.
Okay.
What we're looking for specifically is how can you create that same thing for the clients who are paying you? How can you make, without doing too much, how do you speak to their love language? How do you make them feel overserved inside of what you're doing right now? What's that extra thing? What's the sauce that we're putting on? Rather than I just get the t-shirt. Yeah. What is my overall experience? What's going to make me say, oh my God, I love Blessing. Like her company does X, Y, and Z. And it's always this, that, and the other. For example, like people pay us a monthly membership for David to get, daily entrepreneurship conversations, for me to get daily content prompts and suggestions.
All right, look, I know you're enjoying the episode, but I got to tell you, finally, you asked for it, and we created a Patreon, okay? We created an inner circle. We have amazing stories, amazing information, the how-tos from the episodes. The only thing we're missing is a community. So it's about that time. We put together a Patreon, we put together a community because we have to have conversation around the information. So even this podcast we're listening to right now, there needs to be conversation. I want to hear what you got. Like, let's throw some stuff back and forth. And because we're like-minded, we're all going in the same direction. When we connect in a community, we can connect on other stuff outside the community because we're building real relationships. Okay, so check out the Patreon. We got 3 tiers. I don't care what tier you join. The support is appreciated. Okay, thank you so much. Now back to the episode.
Nothing about that says we want to meet you in person. But we do want to meet you in person. So it's not on the sales page. We don't sell it. It's just, if you're in there, it's like an if you know kind of thing. And it creates a community they're super grateful. And to them, we go above and beyond when we just like serving our people, our actual community of customers.
Yeah. Got it. I can dive deeper into thinking about that because I guess I definitely misunderstood the direction. But I will say this currently, like if you book a consultation call with me, it's 15 minutes. They're keeping me on the phone for an hour. I'm just pouring into them because I just really enjoy it in general.
That's just overextending yourself in that way.
Right.
Because I don't need...
Go ahead.
I won't need, if you're on the call for an hour, and it was a 15-minute consultation, that's a coaching session.
It is.
You're robbing yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Think, what can I do at mass?
Gotcha.
And at scale, not just one-to-one, but where the entire community or my entire customer base, let's make it that, my entire client customer base can benefit from the one gesture that I do. And so for me, when I go to different cities and I'm meeting people, if I'm in Miami next week, then obviously my people in Arkansas aren't getting that. And I might never make it to Arkansas that year, right? So, but they still see what I'm doing, like, man, we got to get you to Arkansas so that we can have the same kind of deal. What is the thing that you can do at scale to a group of people? And it doesn't have to be meeting them in the city, because when we meet them in the city, we're also paying for everything.
Right.
So that might not be your idea.
Right.
You don't want to meet them in the city and have separate checks for everybody.
Right. So I'll give you an idea like how it flowed. So like when I talked about the Black Wall Street tour, we're going to high schools to teach kids entrepreneurship. So who are we focusing on in that scenario?
The students.
The students. You would think so. But I'm not changing my focus and demographic. I'm still talking to entrepreneurs, anyone that's ever lost sleep doing what they love. What I understand is that if we're going in the middle of the day, there are going to be some entrepreneurs that want to pour into kids. And if they're entrepreneurs, they don't have a job, meaning they can have their own schedule. So the biggest part was not us teaching the kids, but the fact that other entrepreneurs want to pour into the school system. My audience of people want to pour into the school system. But there are some people that want to be speakers, and they want to get to that level, and they just want to be around the other speakers that I have coming. So there are people that are my mentees and people in the community, and just people that see what I'm doing, and they're saying, yo, I want to come to one of those schools. It so happened that when they came, because I'm the one putting it on, the speakers were like wearing my apparel, whether it was a hat or a shirt or whatever. Well, some people start to feel like for them to come to the school, that they got to come to the kiosk and buy a shirt. The fact that I'm bringing people to the school to talk to the kids was one of the biggest drivers in t-shirt sales. At this point, my objective was to sell t-shirts. But I'm masking this plan. That's why you have to sit down and think.
Yes.
You have to sit there and think, how can I get done what I want to get done without directly saying, let me get it done? Right? There's going to be some guys that want to approach Donni. They're going to be like, yo, how can I get into her world without telling her, hey, I want to take you on a date? They're going to book a call.
And they're going to pay the invoice.
So I want you to think, and it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy. You're going to sit there with a blank sheet of paper and a pen for about 90 seconds. And you're going to say, I just can't think of nothing. And then you're going to have this idea, yo, I'm going to go on Google and look. And then you're going to go on Google. And you're like, I can't find it on Google. And then you're going to go on YouTube. And then you can't find it on YouTube. But then you see a video that you like and it's your favorite comedian. You're going to watch that. And you start watching that. And there's somebody else in that video. You're going to watch their channel. And now you're just on the gram.
And that is why it's so important to be in the right rooms and at the right tables. Because we feel this way and we're thinking bigger, right? We're now in environments, for example, we're in the same $55,000 coaching program. And that includes having conversations every 2 weeks with other people who are in that same program. That includes every 3 months being actually in a room We're doing this in 2 weeks with other people. And then what happens is now you've got all these like-minded people in the room that you can, it's not about that coaching program.
Yeah.
Bigger plays and moves have been made outside of that together. There are people in that program who have gone on and done $1 million in a day together.
Mm-hmm.
More than that, it wasn't the coaching program. I didn't sign up for the coaching program. Yeah. I signed up because of the type of people who are in that coaching program. I need that juju rubbed all over me. Just sprinkle it all over me, right? I need to be a fly on the wall, but not a fly on the wall. I just need to be a seat, a welcomed seat at the table, right? So think about the bigger thing. We've just created our own masterminds because I know that through my course program, there are going to be people who are ready to get started, like the Ariels in the room and the Joes. I don't know what Joe's doing, but there will be people who are looking to seriously create their coaching program. And then I'm listening to Ariel say, now I want to take that and I want to mastermind even bigger with a condensed number of my audience, with a condensed number of my clients. Well, that's what I teach in the mastermind. So through the course that's been out there and been my signature program now for 2 years, well, almost 2 years, that's just going to teach you how to get started. But then I say, well, what can I do that's bigger? Everybody doesn't need to get started. Everybody's not looking for their first 6 figures. There's going to be 3%, 10%, 20% of those people who are like, I want to do it big. And not just 7-figure big. I want to do it big. I want to build community. I want to have bigger impact. I want to be globally known. Those are the people who I am working with on a deeper level where we're going to create experiences. We're going to get together and we're going to be in the mansions and the masterminds and doing those things because that's like the talented and gifted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you think back to school, you had straight A students and then you had the talented and gifted. That's the talented and gifted of my program. There's going to be some of y'all that are like, she's a superstar.
Absolutely.
He's a superstar. You need to be in a different area right now because you got vision. Regular entrepreneurs wouldn't belong in my mastermind. Yeah. Regular podcasters wouldn't belong in your mastermind. Who is a visionary that's looking to do it big?
Yeah.
What's the thing that you can help people do big through your offer? So you may have a t-shirt. You may have an apparel line. And your typical apparel line might be, so there are boutiques, they're doing it already right now. Already doing that give, right? It's not just in service-based businesses, but think about your clothing stores. And we're ordering from these Instagram boutiques. We get the order in and the shirt is an Italian small, not a US small. So you can't even pull it over your neck. Or the jeans are 2 inches too short and you're disappointed and disgusted. And now it costs you more to send it back. So it just becomes trash or stuff you wear around the house. Well, then you have boutiques who put the clothes on real models, not stock images. Mm-hmm. They put it on real models and they say that model is 155 pounds and she's 5'8", she's a 34C bust and this hip. That's the extra. I love shopping at boutiques like that because the clothes are on real models and it gives me perspective of how this is going to look on my body. Mm-hmm. That's your bonus. That's your extra, right? I don't care if maybe this month for Valentine's, well, let's say it's Valentine's February, the month of February, and maybe your extra is to throw a pack of mints in your product. Like, wow, they're really on theme here. They're always doing something great, right?
We're doing like a jazz or poetry night or something like that where couples can get together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about selling the t-shirt or selling the book. It's like it's all this stuff around it.
It's everything around it.
Anybody
or saying, ideas? Hey, you guys, do I have we sell clothes to you guys. For all of you might search your database and find all your clients who have spent more than $1,000 with you this year. And you might highlight them as a VIP and say, hey, for my VIPs, we want to do a private event in Atlanta, Georgia, or I want to create an online forum where we have a directory. If any of you guys are entrepreneurs, we'd love to thank you by showcasing your business. So I might put together an online directory for all my clients who have spent $1,000 or more. Somebody take this idea because it's a good one. A thank you. And you got an online directory. You give me your name and your Instagram and a short 2 or 3 sentence blurb about your business. That is a wow factor. And it doesn't cost you hardly anything to do it.
Yep. Just costs you thought. Just tough. Anybody got an idea that like you're thinking of it like, or you need some help with coming up with an idea or a concept? Because if you can start thinking about this ancillary stuff around what you do.
Spell that real quick. Ancillary. Spell it.
A-N-S.
No. Can you define it? How about that? Try to define
ancillary is the stuff around the stuff. It's like the less important stuff.
Y'all don't write that definition down.
You don't know how to spell it. How do you spell
Ancillary. Thank you very much.
She's right.
Who asked you?
I mean, I had to look it up too.
Oh, you had to look it up
Yeah.
too? Okay, cool. Let's talk about something important. Okay, go ahead. What you got?
You said anybody who needs help coming up with an idea. So I create luxury realtor sold signs.
Luxury what?
Realtor sold signs.
Okay. Luxury realtor sold signs. Yes.
For realtors. And so, I'm stumped with creating an idea.
Go to a mortgage broker. Okay? And tell this mortgage broker that you want them to sponsor a realtor lunch or breakfast or dinner once a month in the city. So the mortgage broker has the money because, and why am I saying a mortgage broker?
Because they have a gang of realtors under them.
Say it again?
They have a lot of realtors under them.
No.
Okay.
Mortgage broker. Not real estate, not a real estate broker, but a mortgage broker. Why am I saying reach out to a mortgage broker to host a dinner for realtors?
They have influence?
A mortgage broker, if a realtor has a client, they have to get a mortgage. Am I right? So if I'm going to buy a house, I got to get a mortgage. And if the mortgage broker is the person to do the mortgage, like if I'm a realtor and she's my client, I got to lead her somewhere to get financing, right? Because they don't always have their own financing. But if I'm taking care of all the realtors in the city, when you got a client that needs to get a mortgage or they need funding, who are you going to go to? The person that's been feeding you every month.
Mm-hmm.
And how much am I going to make from that? Let's say if there's 20 realtors and we're doing a breakfast and I don't know, it's, $20 a plate, let's just say. That's $400 a month. So I would invest $400 a month to get my ideal client, which the client is the real estate agent who has all the people that they're selling houses to. So for $400 a month, if I get one client, they're going to make thousands of dollars on a loan.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yeah.
But it's hosted by you.
Yeah.
It's hosted by you. So you get up and say, I've been wanting to put this together because I want to pour into the community. And I think we all need to stick together.
Yeah.
There's so much inventory out here. There's so many. And I think that, I got a seller, you got a buyer. We need to come together.
And even more than that, because a lot of mortgage brokers actually work from home. And I don't know, closing attorneys, perfect place to do it. I find all the closing attorneys, they're professional. They have access to the entire state's realtors. So I go to, and they already have offices. So you could host an in-office mixer, brunch, lunch, whatever, and invite all of the realtors. They're like, hey, we need to create a community in this space where we are all supporting each other, where we're all, affiliates of one another, and we're all recommending each other's services, and you have your signs available.
And if I am a realtor and you bring me to this breakfast, and let's say I have a seller and Donni has a buyer, and we get together and we make a deal.
Yeah.
When I need a sign, where am I get a sign from?
Yeah.
Not a guy down the street.
And did you say you create luxury for sale signs or sold signs?
Sold signs.
Yeah, so the closing attorney's office is the perfect place to do it, because now what you're doing is, hey, I want to come in. At the table is where the deal either is sold or not. The whole deal can fall apart at the closing table. So now it's a part of the closing process where, hey, let me show you how you guys can make a little bit more money. You give them you make them an affiliate. You give them a percentage of sales. At the end of the transaction, you offer the realtor or the closing attorney is now working to sell your product by offering the realtor the sold sign to go out and put in that yard.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the stuff around the stuff where the sauce
Create a
is.
luxurious experience, honey. The Moet, not that brute for your mimosas.
That somebody else pays for.
That somebody else pays for.
Thank y'all.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome.
Now you've helped a whole lot of people. The real estate agent now has that extra piece.
Yep.
That buyer who just got that new property can't wait for that luxurious sold sign to be in that yard.
That thing's going to be crazy.
The closing attorney is now making a little bit more money. They've increased the lifetime value of their client because a closing attorney exclusively has your product. This realtor now wants to be connected and always closing deals there. So everybody is winning.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. I appreciate
Think
it.
like that. Got it? Let's clap it up for that. That was good. All
Anybody
it takes
else?
is
One more?
one concept. One more? Anybody else? Y'all good? All right, cool.
Let me say this though. I get it. It's really tough being put on the spot.
Yeah.
But when you're in the room, that one nugget is about to blow your business up.
Oh, bro. What if she just sat there like...
What if
I'm
you
gonna
just
keep it
sat
to
there
myself?
holding that question like, I'm going to ask, but it's a dumb question.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, but I'm not sure. Like that chair is for you to think through what's happening in your business. There's no way I'd be sitting in this room.
Right. And she was trying to think of something like, yo, you know what? I ain't got nothing. Let me just go.
I got nothing. This is my
You
business.
feel me?
What's up?
Oh my gosh. It's I think one of the biggest challenges with entrepreneurship is we're being coached by us. Like, it's almost like, Joe, would you hire you to coach you? I don't know if I'd hire me to coach me because my level of thinking is what got me where I am.
Yep.
And I can't get past that with just me. I need like an outside person to see something about my business that I would never think of.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times when I'm coming up with this stuff, it's not that I geniusly thought of it. So I'm on a call with my man Drew. And I said, man, I want to do some events. And he said, oh, there's one company they're doing, and they had like sponsorship from a liquor company or something like that. And he's like, yo, yeah, we was doing these like dinners. And I said, oh, I got it. Him just saying that now allowed me to feast on it and let my brain be creative in my way. But it took an outside conversation. And if you talk to Donni, she'll say that every great idea I had came from her. So
this often happens.
See?
It is the truth. I literally just got a really great idea just listening to this conversation.
What's the idea?
So now it's still something that's being worked through. So I can have like when I go to different cities too,
And
where I
she
have
stole the
clients.
breakfast thing from me. First off, let's just get that out the way.
Because people aren't out having breakfast every day.
No, but when I was going to the cities, I'm like, yo, anybody morning meetup, I'm gonna pay for breakfast. And then
It's true. I don't just do it for morning meetup. I also do it for Six Figure Accelerator, my one-on-one clients. I've opened it up to my entire community. Okay.
Right. So an idea that she got from somebody else.
Yeah.
Put her own sauce on it, and wow.
Yep.
We're here.
And
Okay.
wow. So now just thinking, so like with the podcast, for example,
Hold on, let me check my cash app.
there is...
Did she send it? Did she send it to you? Did you get it? You didn't get it? Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm still checking.
And she's picked that phone up quite a few
No,
times.
go ahead.
too.
It's cool. Go ahead.
This is his cover for having to check his text messages really quickly.
No, I was looking for my
You
cash app.
actually were in your text
Well,
messages.
she probably was thinking that the cash app maybe came through. a
Yeah,
text
I was
that,
looking
hey,
to say
David,
you get a notification.
Donni sent you $50 for being
So
tardy.
he was scrolling through a specific one that wasn't a cash app because...
I don't
Hey,
know.
real quick, how many people would lose like just a little ounce of respect from Donni if she doesn't send us cash? Just a little bit. You were thinking, just raise your, do your hand real quick.
Don't be
just a
scared.
little bit.
You say real quick.
Not like I don't respect the person, but it's like, Donni, you should have did that. It's only 50. How many
Because
people you were
she
thinking?
talks and preach about keeping your word
She does.
all the time.
Loyalty.
She holds Jovan accountable every podcast.
Yes, absolutely. She is really, really big on integrity. 'Cause
Yes.
that's her favorite word, integrity.
I will not...
Champions
That's from my
don't make
course.
excuses.
She is quoting me from my own course.
A page from your own book. Look at that.
She is quoting me. First of all, I will...
No.
No. Let me just say this. I will not be bullied into sending you
I'm
guys
not
a
trying
cash
to
app.
bully you.
But the responsible coach that I trained and developed in Ariel
Come on, Donni.
was able to just call a me on me.
Let's go.
And she did it in a diplomatic way that made sense. She said, Donni, this is your principle. I got this from you.
Wow.
Champions don't make excuses. So with that being said, I am going to, at this point, send both of y'all raggedy ex-friends of mine a Cash App because I am a woman of my word.
You are.
And I stand in
Joe.
high integrity.
We fought hard.
Y'all didn't do anything.
We made this thing happen.
Thank
over this hour
Ariel.
episode. It took a little while.
You know, hour and 5 minutes.
Thank Ariel,
Thanks,
because
Ariel.
that is the only reason she was able to speak to me on my level.
Oh,
all this bullying stuff is beneath me.
She spoke to you on your level. Oh,
She
we were
spoke to
beneath
me
your
on
level.
my level. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it takes.
She spoke to me on my level. So you got your money, Joe?
I did. It showed up on my watch.
Got your money, David?
$50.
Yeah, you got your money? Now, can we go to lunch? I'm not paying for anything.
Absolutely not. Because if you'd have let us bully you, then we'd have done it. But I don't think I got it yet. Try to resend it?
No, resend
Send it again?
it. Do it one more time. Yo, can we talk about this apparel that we got real quick, though?
No, and absolutely not. We're not talking about this versus apparel because I don't know who it is.
Can we talk about this apparel?
No, we're not. We're not talking about this.
Okay, let me say this, you guys. We're not going to talk about specifically that attire that will never see any light of my day. It won't even get hung in my closet.
Yeah, there.
Because what is on the shirt is such a negative manifestation of a potential reality. I don't.
It is wild. The concept is wild.
Hideous. And here's the thing. I understand where you might have thought you were going with it, but I need y'all to start asking some friends. I need us to start having some accountability partners.
They're being coached by them.
I need you to stop being coached by yourself.
He looked at that and like, yo, this is fire.
Because
it is fire, right?
Too,
yeah, it's fire.
It is fire. In hell, literally, I too have had some ideas. It's dangerous apparel for a person who believes the way I believe, okay? Anyway, I too have had some trash ideas. I remember my first Slogan shirt. I wore it here in 2017, and I thought it was the dopest thing. In fact, we have a picture together. You had on your Slogan shirt, I had on my Slogan shirt. And I said, David, look at my shirt. Like, what do you think? Because I was looking for the one that I was going to mass produce. And he was like, I thought it was dope.
What did it say?
It was vinyl. It was the design. It was like this.
I remember. Yeah,
it was this like how you learn how to write cursive in elementary school, like those perfectly placed cursive letters. And then it had the 3 lines underneath it, like, emphasis. And it was trash, right? And when I went back and took his feedback, well, his feedback was really that it was trash. So when I went back to try to decipher why it could potentially be trash, I'm like, this is actually not as dope as I thought it would be. And then you go back to the drawing board and then we re-released something else and it did what it was supposed to do. But you guys, especially when you're designing things or you're creative, whatever you're doing, offering a service, go to some people. So like if you're designing hoodies, go to people who wear hoodies and say, what do you think about this idea? And everybody who tells you it's a bad idea isn't right, but ask enough people who wear hoodies. If you're a CPA and you're putting together accountant packages for entrepreneurs, go and ask some entrepreneurs who would need an accountant if these are services that they would like. Like whether you have a mentor or a coach or not, you know somebody, you know a person. Join a group online, a blog, upload the image, because that stuff was offensive.
Yeah, we'll show it to y'all in a minute. Like it's
we are
wild.
not.
It's wild.
Oh, we'll show it to y'all.
Yeah. That's wild. Y'all can have it actually.
Y'all can have
You
it.
know what I mean? It's all the stuff around this stuff. You come to the podcast, get some gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it made it really difficult for me to say thank you for sending us a package.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They know who
Most of the stuff, 90+ % of the things that we get though is dope.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Yep. Yeah, especially this.
Like what you're wearing right now, but it's not sponsored. So this has been Another edition of the Social Proof
Absolutely,
Podcast.
man. Y'all enjoy yourself? You learn some stuff? Good. All right, so you want to pay some bills?
I do, but you go first.
Let's do it.
Actually, I want to go first.
You know what we forgot? Joe, and this is Joe's fault. It's my fault. It's our fault. In the beginning, we have to urge people to actually subscribe because more than 50% of the people that watch our podcast is not subscribed. They're just, you find it or you're like, oh, this is my favorite joint. And you just type it in because you know we release it and you just watch it. Nothing against it. You just never hit the subscribe button. So,
if we help you,
hit the subscribe button.
Subscribing helps us.
Let me check. See, my man's first reaction is yes. And I'm not mad at you because you're about to check and you're about to do it right now. And that's okay.
We said that we were going to set up a table.
Okay, cool. You subscribe? You subscribe? All right.
We said we were setting up a table because now that we're setting up a table, we're checking for subscriptions, and we're also checking for active memberships.
Oh, you got to check for the active.
We're checking for active.
Anybody on their dollar trial still? You know, dollar trial don't get you access, but okay. Woo! All right. So anyway, this episode is sponsored by. First off, send me a text message. Shoot me a message. Okay, this comes straight to my phone, and I send out motivational stuff, updates. So you can text me at 404-737-4935. And you don't really need any other numbers to text. You only need this number, 404-737-4935. You want to stay connected with me. Stuff be on my heart sometime. And I'm going to text you. So, so you can text me again. It's 404-737-4935.
And also, if you want to text.
I'm not done. Let me finish.
If you want to text.
You want to go first.
I said yes, actually.
But I'm not done. I still got to keep going. So this episode is also sponsored by themorningmeetup.com. The Morning Meetup is the only organization that gathers every single day for the empowerment of entrepreneurs, okay? If you wanted to find 400 to 500 entrepreneurs every single day, where would you go? There's only one place on earth. And that's
I know where I would go.
Where would you go?
The Morning Meetup.
Themorningmeetup.com.
8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, without a doubt. I couldn't find myself anywhere else.
Every single day.
And
we're there. So Thanksgiving is coming up. Guess what? I'm there.
Did you just date the episode?
No, it's this next year. Thanksgiving 2022 is coming up.
Blessing over here talking about my event is December.
So Christmas is coming up. If Christmas is on a Monday through Friday, guess who's going to be there? I am. I don't care what day it is, okay? We are going to be there every single morning. And we just finished another book. And we're going to be starting another book. This will be 14 books that we read together as a group this year. And we only read a chapter a day. You read a chapter, I read a chapter. We all read the same chapter. Then we come back the next morning and we discuss the chapter. So that it's not just reading and like speed reading through a book and you don't remember anything. We read it and then discuss it. So we can actually apply the stuff. So
I'm stealing that idea too.
Go to themorningmeetup.com and try us out. $1 trial. If you want to stay for $1 after 7 days, $79 a month. If you don't like it, you cancel. No pressure, no sweat, okay? And make sure you subscribe to the Social Proof Podcast and this YouTube channel, David Never Sleeps, okay? Wiggins.
This episode, first of all, if you guys want to receive text messages.
I don't like you stealing my style.
If you guys want to receive text messages that actually pour value into you, it's not based off of my thoughts and emotions like David was talking about earlier. When you said it was the only text number that you'd ever need to text.
And why y'all daughter uses only for another thing that she's offering? Go ahead.
No. If you guys want actual value, things that are going to move the needle forward in your business and increase your dollars and cents in your bank account, you should actually be texting
Somebody just text me right now. I'm about to text
the best business coach in the world. At 404.
Somebody just text me from this file. I'm replying to them personally. You are so rude. I'm about to reply to them personally because they're
404-737-2767. Again, you just want to text me 404-737-2767. Now, I send out game all the time, okay? All the time. But then there are some people who want to say, who say, hey, I want to go to the next level. I need to create content that actually connects and converts. I need to understand how to be able to engage my audience and tap into their emotions, tap into their buying urges, all of those different things. Then when you text me, you want to send me the words post to paid.
How do you spell it?
POSTTOPAID. But we're so automated that it doesn't matter. You can post number 2 paid. You can put it all together. You can TWO. It doesn't matter. Text post to paid.
Do you teach your clients to do that kind of stuff too?
I do teach my clients to do that kind of stuff. And $37 a month, we got you covered. Right now, there's a $1 trial in post to pay, just because of the time of year that we're in, that I won't mention to date the show.
What time of the year are we in?
We're in holiday time. We're in holiday time.
I just noticed so. No, go ahead. No. Keep going. Proceed.
No.
What? How did you catch that?
I don't know. I'm about to cry.
Yeah, like she was kicking flowers this morning. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Proceed.
Yeah, so post to pay.
Oh, that joke was crazy too. I don't know how. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go for it.
This episode is also brought to you by Six Figure EDU, the number one platform. The number one platform in all seriousness for creating and developing coaches and consultants. So if you're a coach, a consultant, course creator, membership groups, all that good stuff, I am training and developing you inside that program. And it's super dope. So many success stories of people who have, everybody wants 6 figures, but the first step is replace your income on your job, right? Put yourself in a position to breathe as a full-time entrepreneur. Typically your first step. And then we move on to 6 figures, and then we move on to multiple 6, and then you move on. Anyway, it happens. It goes down inside of 6 Figure Accelerator. So you can get more information about that by going to the word 6, S-I-X, figureedu.com. Okay? All right. And whoop, there that is. That's it, you guys.
We're uncomfortable silence. All right, well, yeah. Make sure y'all tapping in. Y'all subscribe, man. Follow me and my sister Donni, okay? We are coming to a city near you, all right? We are out of here. Peace. What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week, and I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com, because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book every single chapter, every single day? We're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all of this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? themorningmeetup.com. I'll see you in the morning.